So I was just recording my videos for the day, for the week, and I got this in, and so I decided, hey, why not just start doing my first impressions? I don't know when I'm going to release it, but we're going to be doing my first impressions of Stronger With You Parfum, brand new in 2025. So without further ado, let's get it. What's good, my great smelling dudes? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Randy, aka FragranceDoud, back at you with a first impression of a brand new release here in 2025. Before we get into it, make sure to hit the subscribe button, that like, and then comment below. Let me know if you've tried this fragrance out yet, because I know it is in some stores. With that said, Emporio Armani has now released 2 back-to-back fragrances in a week. Usually they do their limited edition flanker because every year they come out with 1 flanker and 1 limited edition flanker. It's usually like 5 or 6 months apart though. This year they announced the Parfum, and then a week later they announced Stronger With You Sandalwood. But before I get any questions about when are you getting Stronger With You Sandalwood, are you getting Stronger With You Sandalwood, I always usually do get the limited edition flankers. The issue is they are limited edition to the UAE, and so across the world. And then the first company to usually get it in for me to buy is Fragrance Buy in Canada. And they get it in about a month to a month and a half usually. And if I can get that, because they'll sell out in a day and then you won't see it for another 2 months. If I can get that sale, I will get it, but it won't be for another month or so. And then I have to wait for it to come to Canada, which is like another 7 to 10 days. So just an FYI, you probably won't start seeing US reviews for Stronger With You Sandalwood unless somebody has PR or something until probably mid-March, maybe late March is my guess. With that said, that's not what we're talking about today. Today, I just got this in. Again, I was in the middle of doing my weekly reviews because I usually review like 4 or 5 videos at one time. And I got this in and figured I would do my first impressions for it. So this is Emporio Armani's Stronger With You Parfum. With that said, while I'm opening the box, I do want to let you guys know the United States has finally decided to have a Stronger With You line where you can actually buy the bottles, because they used to only have Stronger With You and that was it. And then they got rid of that and it was just In Love With You, at least in most stores around me. Now they have Stronger With You Intensely, Stronger With You Absolutely, and a lot of the stores just got in Stronger With You Parfum. So go check out your Sephora, Macy's. I know Ulta is getting them in, and I've seen it at my Ulta. I haven't seen this one yet, but they are getting the Parfum in. Anyway, so I didn't show you the box because, I mean, the box is the box. Here's the bottle. It looks like Stronger With You Absolutely. And I'm going to let you know my biggest issue with the Stronger With You line is that a lot of them are redundant, especially in the main line. My favorite is Freeze and Absolutely. Freeze for the warmer months and for the colder months, Absolutely. So I will let you know. And as far as limited edition flankers, Oud is my favorite, and then Tobacco. So here we go. What do I think of Stronger With You Parfum? Okay, I need to spray that one more time. That is a Stronger With You, but they finally took away the sweetness. There's still sweetness in it, but it's really just kind of like the nutty sweetness. You know how they have like that real either vanillic sweetness, or they have the rich boozy sweetness, or the ambery sweetness. This one, it seems like the sweetness is almost all but dialed down, and you're left with like that chestnut. It's almost like a glazed chestnut, which I believe I saw that in the Strong With You Freeze, but That's what it smells like. You get the sweetness, but it's almost like it's from a glazed chestnut, like a sweet and sugary chestnut. But surrounding that is more of a masculine version of this DNA. Maybe a little bit. I don't remember what the notes are this. I don't even know if there were notes for this, but I'm definitely getting some woody tones. I'm definitely getting a little bit of spice. Is this redundant compared to the rest of the line? I honestly don't think so. I mean, some people are going to say yes because of the chestnut, but I really enjoy this. I think that this, I sprayed it at Von Mar, and I already had worn like 5 or 6 other fragrances, and I didn't think that I liked that this much. And so when I got this in, I knew that I was going to be for the collection, but I just sprayed it now, and man, I like this way more than I did the first time. So it almost has like a smoked nuance too. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it on my hand. I'm going to let it dry down for about an hour to an hour and a half. Give you guys a little bit of a feel of the dry down. But based on the opening, again, it's almost like a less sweet, more masculine version of the DNA with a little bit of almost like an added, I don't know if it's like a leather or a suede or something underneath it, but definitely a very good fragrance. Very, very nice for the night out, cool weather for sure. But I'll be right back in about, again, like an hour and a half. All right, guys, so we are back with the semi-dry down of Stronger With You Parfum. And I have to say, while I still think Stronger With You Freeze is my favorite in the line, this one might take over absolutely. I mean, and I didn't think I would say that, because the one thing that's always made me kind of like about Stronger With You line is the sweetness. That's why Stronger With You Intensely has always been my least favorite. I always wanted a nicer blend. I've always loved the original, and I've always loved Stronger With You Freeze because they had a little bit of this nutty sweetness, but the rest of it had nothing to do with the line. And that's why I like this. Like I said, and it hasn't changed much. So once we got to the dry down, if anything, it got less sweet and a little bit more masculine. It still has that Stronger With You DNA in there, but it's almost like it's a muted version of that DNA with this glazed chestnut on top, that after about an hour, it starts to just work its way into the background as you get more of this woodiness and almost like a little bit of a smoky tone and spice. It is a grown-up version of Stronger With You, absolutely, which I would say if there was one it's closest to, it's definitely absolutely, but it doesn't have the booziness. It's more mature, it's less sweet. It's fantastic. I honestly think that this is the smoothest cool weather Stronger With You. This is I wouldn't say the most masculine. It might be, but it's like up there with the most masculine ones without feeling overly hyperly masculine for people that don't like those leather jacket fragrances and stuff. It doesn't feel that way because it's subdued and blended nicely and so smooth that you mix that together with that glazed chestnut and what might be a little bit of vanilla underneath it, and it's just beautiful. It's still warm. It still has a little bit of a richness, but not like what you feel with the amberiness and all the other ones. Overall, I would give the opening to this because the glazed chestnut was there, and I thought that was superb. It felt like the glazed chestnut you get from Stronger With You Freeze. I would give that opening like an 8.5, while the dry down is more of like an 8.1, 8.2, but it hasn't changed too much. And if anything, it just got less of a Stronger With You. It still smells like a Stronger With You, and it's hard to explain the differences there. If you don't like Stronger With You in general, then you're not going to like it. And so don't think that this is going to be the first one you're going to like. But if you're borderline Stronger With You, where maybe Freeze is your favorite because it has that least amount of Stronger With You DNA, or maybe they were too sweet for you, and you do like the original maybe, this is one that you should definitely give a shot if you're looking to have one or two in your collection. If I could go back in time right now, I mean, obviously I have to work my way through this entire fragrance, but if I could go back in time right now and choose only two flankers of the Stronger With You DNA, I would go with either for the cool weather, either this or Oud and Freeze. And I honestly think this one might beat out absolutely. It's such a direct resemblance of Stronger With You DNA, but while doing its own thing. And this is the perfect vision of what you want to do with a flanker. You want to make it smoother, better. You want to let it stand on its own to give it some uniqueness. That's what this does. Yep. I'm going to give that high marks. I can't wait to get to the dry down. I can't wait to get to the full review. But so far this year, this is one of the top 5 fragrances. And there's been a lot of fragrances so far. This is top 5. Is it doing anything new? Not really. But that's why I'm confused here, is because it's not really doing much new. Yes, it adds like this kind of like leathery suede or something, but it's not doing anything like overly new, but it also feels new. If that makes any sense, I'm not going to keep you guys here any longer. I feel like I've been here forever, but Stronger With You Parfum, very nice. I will be back in about 10 to 15 days once I give it some wears to let you know how I feel about it. It is a cool weather fragrance for sure. This might lean a little bit closer into like early spring, but I would still say fall and winter is the safe bet for this fragrance. And it's pushing out nicely. So it's just very good. So again, let me get some wares on that, and I'll be back with a full review. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.